So the question is, what is an ideal EBITDA? Now, friends, let me tell you at this point in time, because I'm going to discuss with you how to assess the position, prospects, and performance of a business. In any case, in the later part of this session, but I can tell you here and now itself what is an ideal EBITDA of any business. Now, friends, let me tell you, all over the world, all over the world, for all the companies, for all the industries, there is nothing called an ideal EBITDA. There is nothing called an ideal gross profit. There is nothing called as ideal net profit. There is nothing called ideal return on capital employed, or return on equity, or return on investment, or return on or anything else for that matter, or your debt equity ratio or your current ratio. There is nothing called ideal. And why? The only thing which is ideal as far as the EBITDA is concerned or the gross profit is concerned, and please note it, bigger the better. That is only the norm for all these the matrices that we are going to discuss, all these parameters, all these performance indicators. There is only one parameter, bigger the better. That's all. सो किसी भी दुनिया में किसी कंपनी के लिए ऐसा रूल नहीं है कि इसका एबिडा 10% होना चाहिए, 15% हो, जितना ज़्यादा उतना अच्छा, और जितना जितना बढ़ता रहे उतना उतना और भी अच्छा. So therefore, a question that can come to your mind, and it should come to your mind, then how do I figure out? I'm sure all of you would definitely like to check as to how is the EBITDA of your company, of your respective companies, and you would also like to come to a conclusion as to whether this EBITDA is good EBITDA or not a good EBITDA. And let me give you answer for all such matrices that we are going to discuss. Number one, how do I figure out कि मेरा एबिडा, मेरा ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट, मेरा नेट प्रॉफिट, मेरा रिटर्न ऑन कैपिटल एम्प्लॉयड, मेरा रिटर्न ऑन इक्विटी, मेरा रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट वो अच्छा है कि अच्छा नहीं है, कैसे मुझे मालूम पड़ेगा? नंबर वन, यू कॉम्पीट यू कंपेयर योर नंबर ऑफ योर एबिडा विद योर कॉम्पिटिटर्स. क्या करें? सबसे पहले अपना जो नंबर है उसको अपने कॉम्पिटिटर के नंबर से कंपेयर करें. सो चेक एज टू व्हाट इज योर एबिडा मार्जिन and what is the EBITDA margin of your competitor. If EBITDA margin of your competitor is higher than the EBITDA margin of your competitor, then of course you are doing better. Even in that also, in case if you are not a leader in your industry, then you compare your EBITDA margin with the EBITDA margin of the leader of that industry, and that will give you an idea as to where you stand, and that will give you an idea as to whether you are whether the EBITDA that you are earning is good or not. Number two, what you can do is industry norms, and I'm sure all of us know this because there are industry associations. So you got FICCI hai, CII hai, SOCHM hai, IMC hai, Mara Chamber of Commerce hai, CM hai, ECMA hai. So all these industry organizations, from time to time, they carry out research and find out as to what are the norms of different KPIs, different indicators. So maybe you can pick up those numbers and compare your number with the numbers of the industry norms, and that will give you an idea as to where do you stand as far as your EBITDA is concerned, or gross profit is concerned, or net profit is concerned, or return on capital employed is concerned. Number three, what you can do is to compare your current year's number with your previous year. So आपका जो ये साल का जो नंबर है, आप ये साल के नंबर को compare these numbers with your last year's performance, and that will give you an idea as to where do you stand. So if the gross profit last year was 15% and this year the gross profit is 17%, obviously you're doing better than the last year, and that will give you a good idea. Number four, what you can do, and I'm sure because I have gone through the list of participants, and I have also gone through the list of the companies that you come from. So all the companies will have a system of annual budget, and all these companies would do in any case. So you compare your gross profit or your EBITDA of the year with the budgeted figure. So if your actual number is greater than the budgeted number that you have, you are doing better. If your number is lower than the budget that you have, of course you are not doing better. If your number is same as the budgeted number, then you are just meeting your budgeted requirements. And number five is what you can do is, in case if your company is a multi-plant company having the same products, even if you are not having same products, even if you have different products, because you may be a conglomerate. So in case if you are a conglomerate, within the conglomerate, it is possible that you may have multi plants for same products, and you also have multi plant for so many other products. So what you can also do, you can compare your EBITDA and your gross profit, your net profit, with the numbers of the other plants in your group. And luckily this information is very easily available to you, so you would be able to figure it out as to how your EBITDA is and things like that. Okay, so this is point number one. I hope I have answered your question, sir.